The Islamic Republic behave like ISIS, and the Islamic Republic must be treated like ISIS.
There's been a lot of maybe hopes for the Iranian people that are protesting that America was on the way, help was on the way. Has that moment passed them by?
I don't think it's passed by. It's just uncertain whether or not it will be there. I still tend to think it will be there. I think this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. This is like a 1989 to 1991 moment for the Middle East, meaning that the hegemon of the Middle East had been Iran. It's been under enormous external pressure over the last 2 years. Its proxy system that's been building up throughout the region, Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas have been largely wiped out. Its client state in Damascus, in Syria, the Assad regime is gone. Its nuclear program is all but gone. So it's been facing extraordinary external pressure, and now it's facing this internal pressure, and that's sort of a perfect storm with a country that's being led by an 86-year-old leader who's been in power, for almost 40 years. And so he's weak and isolated, and this is a genuine, bona fide, popular uprising from the people. It's like a perfect storm, and you don't get these moments that often. And I do think American military power would do a lot to tip things over.
That notwithstanding, I agree with a lot of what you said there, but I just find this this is hard.
Look, Iran is facing enormous economic pressure, something like 50% inflation. If you think about inflation on food, it's closer to 70%. Enormous economic pressure. But the security apparatus has a lot of staying power. They can, and that particularly the Basij, the secret domestic forces that suppress the citizens, and in the RGC are very loyal to the regime and to the supreme leader. Still. And so it's going to be very hard to get them to flip. I do believe U.S. military force could actually start to change the dynamic. It augments, it's complementary to what's happening with the popular uprising. But I think the popular uprising alone is not enough to break the will and break the control of these security forces. The regime has been investing in these revolutionary forces for 47 years. This is a powerful capability that the regime has, and it's not going to break overnight. One
of the things is that that's not the axis of evil, but you have these bad actors, right? So Venezuela, Maduro was friendly with Iran. That's not an option for Iran anymore. So as you say, they're more isolated. But you said something this morning, and maybe you could tell our viewers here about what our allies in the Middle East are thinking about this moment.
Yeah, so I think I think Israel definitely wants the regime gone, and Israel and Iran had very close relations before the revolution in the late 70s in Iran. So there used to be direct flights between Tehran and Tel Aviv. So there's a real sense in Israel that Iran could be one of the most pro-Israel, most pro-West, most pro-America countries in the Middle East. Many of the Arab countries in the Middle East, though, kind of like Iran where it is right now, meaning they didn't like where Iran was before June of this year when it had its nuclear program in full steam ahead. They didn't like where Iran was when they had this proxy system that they had invested hundreds of billions of dollars in, projecting power, Iranian power throughout the region. But Iran now on its back foot, external pressure and domestic pressure, its economy in free fall, the rial in free fall. This is, some of these countries are worried that if suddenly you get a new government in place, a new system in place, it could be a very modernizing, a very secular, quasi-democratic country. Many of these countries, particularly some of the Gulf countries, don't like that contrast to what they have because some of their citizens may be saying, why don't we have that?
I like a lot of what you're saying.